Okay, so how much money do you lose by using a done-for-you model versus do-it-yourself? Okay, so first of all, and let me explain done-for-you, do-it-yourself. So done-for-you, means that basically you're going to, and this is my key distinction here, okay? When it's done for you, you're delegating the task, but you keep the responsibility. It's not like a pension fund or one of those sort of investments where you put the money in and they take care of it, they do everything, and you get no say in it, okay? You don't know, you're just a passive investor, okay? I'm not talking about passive investment, all right? What I'm talking about is you are party to the decisions, party to what's going on, so at any point you can back out, change firms, do whatever you need to do, and actually you understand the decisions that got to you where you are and the decisions that will take you further, okay? So that's, for me, the distinction of done for you, Delegate the task, but not the responsibility, which means you get other people who are professionals. I mean, to give you an idea, if you're talking about property lettings and management, there's over 170 pieces of legislation. I don't expect my investors to know all 170 pieces of legislation, but by outsourcing to a professional that does, so for instance, I've got my level 3 certificate in property sales and property lettings and management, so I've got 2 of them. I'm currently doing my level 4 in both those, because the regulation of property agents is coming in the UK. And the reality is, it's going to be there. Probably within the next 2 or 3 or 4 years, we'll have regulation of agents, and all agents will have to do that if they want to work in that industry. So bottom line is, how much does it cost? Coming back to the question. Okay. So do it yourself is you do it yourself, and you're still going to get people to do it. So there's still going to be a done for you. The distinction, I think, between the two, the done for you and the do it yourself, really is you're going to get somebody else to manage your property for you, find your tenants. I mean, you could do it all yourself, okay? But I'm not really, that's probably a bit different because you're going to be a full-time investor if you do that. And in fact, you're going to be a full-time landlord, not a full-time investor. And for me, there's a distinction. An investor puts an amount of money in and expects a return. A landlord manages property and is responsible for property, okay? So that's the distinction for me. I want to be the investor, not the landlord, okay? Although I still understand my responsibilities as a landlord, okay? So what's the additional cost? Look, the costs don't have to be that much additional, because actually, there's a whole range of reasons why it doesn't have to cost anything extra, really. What I tend to find is it's more a question of, do you want a premium service? Do you want the cheapy service? Basically, if you want to pay professionals, then you're going to pay more than if you're going to pay peanuts. We're talking about monkeys, peanuts, all that stuff. But the reality is, that becomes more the question, because actually it's not necessarily going to cost you more to have a done-for-you solution, if you factor in your time that you have to and the opportunity cost of your time when you do it yourself. Actually, if you price that up, most people eventually get other people to manage the property for them. Get other people involved in finding tenants for them and doing the maintenance for them and doing all these sort of things for them, okay? And certainly what I find is, certainly starting out, if you're a beginner and you're at that under 5 properties, it's better to have somebody holding your hand. It's better to have somebody who knows what they're doing, who is their job, and this is their profession. They do it day in, day out, because they have the quantity of transactions. I've sold over £1 billion of property through my various companies, in my career. £1 billion. Now, you might be sitting there and saying, well, I've had 2 properties at 250 grand each, that's 500,000. That's a long way from $1 billion. I've been in it 25 years, You might have been in it for 6 months, So there's a level of expertise there that myself and my team have that perhaps you don't have, And that's part of your process of assessing whether you work with us or anyone, is that you should be asking questions like that. The person you're speaking to on the phone, how long have they been doing it? How many properties have they got themselves? What's their situation? What are their goals? What are they on about? And when you start interrogating them like that, you'll start to realize that actually a lot of guys are very shallow on, because they're sales deal hunters, and they're basically trying to sell you a deal, as opposed to portfolio strategists, which I talk about, which is much more about getting really down and dirty with the strategy and the detail. All right. If you've got any questions whatsoever, jump on my YouTube channel, Facebook, and just message me, and I'm happy to answer them either in video or text or whatever. And look, guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to comment, and I look forward to seeing you. If you want to come along to one of the webinars, jump on our website, gladfish.com, and we're more than happy to chat through, and the guys can take you through getting your own plan and your own strategy. Because let's face it, it's all good watching YouTube videos. It's all good watching Facebook videos. It's all good being on LinkedIn. It's all good being on the social media and learning all that sort of stuff. But until you sit down and get down and dirty with your detail and how it affects you personally and the opportunities that you have to make a difference in your life and your family's life, really none of it means, all this education doesn't mean anything until you take your first step. So get and meet with a team. If you do book-dash or gladfish.com, book-a-meeting, and go there, book a meeting with a team, sit down with them, get all your questions answered. Yeah, it's not a sales pitch. This is where we get your plan and we get your strategy together, and we actually work out what it is you want to achieve, where you're starting out, and then we work out how we can help you get there. And you know what? If we can't help you getting there, that's fine. If you're going to choose a strategy that we don't get involved with, fine. You know what? There's so much free education there that you can learn the fundamentals from. I'm happy to gift that away. It's all free. It's there. I've been doing this for years, giving my education away free. You don't need to go and spend 10 grand, 30 grand, whatever it is, even, 2.5, 3 grand for a weekend, to learn this stuff. It's there, it's available, and it's, if you're talking about my stuff, it's very simple, okay? So guys, any questions, come back to me. Otherwise, have a great day, live with passion, and look forward to chatting to you real soon.